World War I was a global conflict that lasted from 1914 to 1918. It was one of the deadliest conflicts in human history, with an estimated 16 million military and civilian deaths. The war involved the major powers of the world, divided into two opposing alliances: the Allies, led by France, Great Britain, and Russia, and the Central Powers, led by Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. In this essay, we will explore the causes, events, and outcomes of the First World War. Causes of World War I. The origins of World War I can be traced back to the late 19th century, as European powers competed for colonies and markets around the world. Germany, a newly unified nation, was eager to assert its power and expand its influence in Europe and beyond. This ambition clashed with the interests of other European powers, particularly France and Great Britain. The immediate cause of World War I was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary in Sarajevo, Bosnia, on June 28, 1914. The assassin was a member of a Serbian nationalist group called the Black Hand, which sought to unite all Slavic peoples under Serbian leadership. Austria-Hungary blamed Serbia for the assassination and issued an ultimatum demanding that Serbia hand over the perpetrators and allow Austrian investigators to operate on Serbian soil. When Serbia refused to comply with all of Austria-Hungary's demands, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia on July 28, 1914. Events of World War I. The declaration of war between Austria-Hungary and Serbia set off a chain reaction of alliances and counter-alliances among the major powers of Europe. Germany, which had formed an alliance with Austria-Hungary and Italy, known as the Triple Alliance, saw an opportunity to assert its power and expand its territory. Germany declared war on Russia, which had pledged to defend Serbia, on August 1, 1914, and then declared war on France, which had a treaty with Russia, on August 3, 1914. Great Britain, which had a treaty with Belgium guaranteeing its neutrality, declared war on Germany on August 4, 1914, after Germany invaded Belgium as part of its plan to quickly defeat France. This brought the British Empire, including Canada, Australia, India, and South Africa, into the war on the side of the Allies. The first year of the war saw significant German advances in Belgium and France, but the German army was stopped at the First Battle of the Marne in September 1914. This marked the beginning of trench warfare, in which armies dug in and fought from defensive positions across a network of trenches that stretched for hundreds of miles across Europe. Over the next several years, the war saw some of the deadliest battles in human history. The Battle of the Somme, fought from July to November 1916, saw over 1 million casualties, killed, wounded, or missing, on both sides. The Battle of Verdun, fought from February to December 1916, saw over 700,000 casualties. Other major battles included the Battle of Jutland, a naval battle between Germany and Great Britain in May to June 1916, and the Battle of Gallipoli, an Allied attempt to open a new front in the war by attacking the Ottoman Empire. The war also saw the use of new and devastating weapons, including poison gas, flamethrowers, and tanks. By the end of the war, both sides had suffered enormous losses in men and materiel, and the civilian populations of Europe had been ravaged by food shortages, disease, and other hardships. The outcomes of World War I were vast and far-reaching, reshaping the political, economic, and social landscape of the world. Some of the major outcomes are discussed below. The Treaty of Versailles. The Treaty of Versailles, signed on June 28, 1919, between Germany and the Allied powers, marked the end of the war. The treaty imposed harsh penalties on Germany, including the loss of territory, heavy reparations payments, and restrictions on its military. This led to a sense of bitterness and resentment among many Germans, fueling the rise of extremist political movements like the Nazi Party. Redrawing of borders and creation of new nations. The war led to significant changes in the political map of Europe and the Middle East. The Austro-Hungarian Empire, which had existed for over 400 years, was dissolved, and new nations like Czechoslovakia and Yugoslavia were created. The Ottoman Empire was also dismantled, and the Middle East was divided into British and French spheres of influence, leading to the creation of new nations like Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon. The League of Nations. The League of Nations was created in 1919 as a way to prevent future wars through diplomacy and international cooperation. Although the League was ultimately unsuccessful in preventing the outbreak of World War II, it paved the way for the creation of the United Nations after World War II. Economic impacts. The war had a significant impact on the global economy, leading to inflation, food shortages, and unemployment. The war also led to the rise of the United States as a major economic power, as it supplied the Allies with weapons and other goods. Social impacts. The war had a profound impact on society, particularly in Europe. The loss of life and physical destruction caused by the war led to a sense of disillusionment and despair among many people. Advances in technology and medicine. The war saw significant advances in technology and medicine, including the development of new weapons like tanks and airplanes, and the use of X-rays to diagnose and treat injuries. These advances paved the way for further innovation in the years to come. In conclusion, World War I was a devastating conflict that had far-reaching impacts on the world. Although it ended in 1918,